Hi, Assalamualaikum to my respected lecturer, Madam Nurul Akmal binti Kamarudin. Today our group will discuss about the Trade Union Act 1959 stipulates the power of Director General of Trade Union to take action with regard to fund and account and elaborate 5 of the powers. The presentation will be directed by 4 members, which is Mini Iswani as the first presenter, following with Intarazia binti Basir as the second presenter. The third presenter is Nur Alisa binti Andik Muhammad Khairuddin, lastly Nur Izzati Shazwani binti Nur Azam. A trade union is an association of workmen and employers which are occupied temporarily or permanent in a trade and occupation of an industry to follow lawful objectives. Trade Union Act confers various rights and powers on trade union, most of which are to be found in Part 4 and 5 of the Act. All the right and the vast majority of powers are available on the registered trade unions. However, some of the powers are available to any union, whether registered or not. Moreover, it should be borne in mind that unions do have other rights and powers accorded them by the law. Besides that, a trade union plays a crucial role in industrial relations. Moreover, it is also important to represent the employees in expressing their demands to the employers for better employment contracts. Among the rights given to the trade union, the right to collective bargaining is the most significant, since collective bargaining action consists of a negotiation process between the employer on one side and the organised workers on another, with the intention to determine working conditions and fair wages for the worker. Who is responsible? Basically, the one who is responsible is the Department of Trade Union, which is Director General, who enforced the Trade Union Act 1959. What is the power for DGTU? DGTU is a central role in the growth of trade union movement, which has the authority to register newly formed unions, deregister unions from breaking the law, check a union's annual acts, and generally to investigate any specific complaints made against a particular union in the manner such in relation to use union and the election of union officials. The first power for the Director General Trade Union is registration. The Registration of Trade Union Association 1959 gives power to Director General Trade Union, or known as DGTU, regarding to the registration. This is including giving them the power to register a trade union in prescribed manner according to the Section 12 subsection 1. DGTU has the power to register and need to maintain the registration as the prescribed. Section 7 of Trade Union Association 1959 has explained about how to register trade union. Any adjustment or change in such particulars and all other matters that may be required to be registered therein under this Act. A certified copy of any entry in the register is conclusive evidence of the facts stated therein as of the date of the certified copy. Every trade union formed after the beginning of this Act must apply to be registered under this Act within 1 month of its formation. Next, the power to the Director General Trade Union is the powers to refuse the registration. The DGTU has the authority to refuse registration if the trade union is likely to be used for illegal purpose or in a manner that is opposed to its aims and rules. They may refuse to accept any unlawful objects in the registration. The powers of DGTU can also refuse if the name of the trade union is similar with the other existing or look like with the other trade union, and where the opinion from the DGTU that trade union is trying to deceive the members of the trade union or the public. The DGTU also stated it is unwelcome unless the trade union itself alters the name to the one which is acceptable to DGTU. The fact that the DGTU has the power to refuse if the trade union conflicts with any of the provisions of the Act and cancel the registration with valid reasons. Next, the Director General Trade Union also have the powers for the cancellation of the registration. A certificate of registration of the trade unions can be cancelled or withdrawn by the DGTU if the request of a trade union upon its dissolution to be verified in such manner. As the Director General may be required or in situation when DGTU satisfied that the certificate of registration was obtained or issued by fraud or mistake. The DGTU has the authority to cancel or withdraw a trade union certificate of registration if the trade union requests that its certificate of registration be verified in the manner that the Director General may require, or if the DGTU is satisfied that the certificate of registration was obtained or issued by fraud or mistake. Besides that, it may be cancelled if one of the objects or rules of the trade union is unlawful. The trade union also should not be contravened with any provisions of this Act of any regulations. Before the DGTU intends to cancel a trade union's registration, the DGTU must send the trade union at least 30 days written notice explaining the grounds for the proposed cancellation or withdrawal of its certificate of registration. The DGTU has the power to extend the period of registration from 1 month to the period of 6 months.
Next, my name is Nur Elisa binti Andik Muhammad Hairuddin, and I will move further with the second point of power, which is executive or employees or officers of trade union. Another power of Director General of Trade Union is in the context of officers or employees of trade union. If the rule have been accepted by the members, the officers will be elected based on the rules that been stated in Trade Union Act 1959. A trade union shall take a secret ballot to make a decision regarding the election of officer. It is important for every member to have the same rights because it helps them to record their votes independently. In terms of the secrecy of the ballot, unions must ensure that it is properly secured and ascertained. The result of a secret ballot taken by the Secretary of Unions in deciding the matter regarding the election of officer shall be submitted to Director General of Trade Union. The authority of Director General of Trade Union is he may conduct all the investigation which he deems necessary when a union has taken a secret ballot to call for a strike. Other than that, the power of Director General is he may require any person to deliver to him on any ballot papers, envelope or other document that have been used in connection with the secret ballots and in which are in the possession of that person. He may inspect any such documents and retain it for such period as he deems necessary. Besides, another power of Director General of Trade Union is in any particular case, the Director General may declare a secret ballot taken by the trade union to be invalid if he is satisfied that the trade union has contravened of any provision of the Act or any regulation in conducting the secret ballot. Next, I will move further with the third power of Director General of Trade Union, which is DGTU, is in terms of fund and account. According to the Trade Union Act 1959, the DGTU are held the responsibility in taking care of the funds and account. The Act has empowered DGTU with the responsibility of managing the funds and also managing the account as a preventive action. As in the context of fund, based on Section 50 of the Trade Union Act 1959, it has outlined the specific purpose of union funds. The first purpose that has been outlined is about the employees and the officers' salaries payment. The Act also mentioned the use of the union fund regarding the expenses of maintenance of union's administration, including the audit for union's account itself. Other than that, some other purpose of union fund that has been mentioned are about the trade union can only be used to pay for the expenses that related to settlement disputes, compensation payments such as an allowance to be given to the family members for losses arising from trade dispute, and fund union's activity like picket, strike and social events. Furthermore, under Section 50A of the Trade Union Act 1959, it also mentioned the authority held by the Director General in which to give an approval in writing if union wants to raise fund or collect monies. There's no trade union may enter into any agreement with any person for which that person undertakes to raise fund or on behalf of the trade union itself unless it has a prior approval from the Director General. Besides, under Section 54 of the Trade Union Act, it has empowered the Director General with the power to ensure the fund of the union can only be expended with approved objective by him. Next, as in the context of managing the union's account, union held the responsibility to have a financial account management in a proper condition, as have been stated in Section 55, 56 and 57 of Trade Union Act 1959. Under Section 56 of the Trade Union Act 1959, it has empowered the Director General of Trade Union with the requirement for unions to submit a statement of Auditor General regarding the receipt, fund, effect and expenditure of the union to the Director General. The statement of Auditor General must be submitted within 12 months, in which the ending is on 31st March each year and before 1st October of each year. The effect, if the union fails to do so, will result in disregistration of the union after adequate warnings have been given. Another power of Director General of Trade Union is to give an order for unions to make an account books to be used for audit or inspection by a fit person which have been approved by him under Section 57 of Trade Union Act 1959. Alright, that's all from me. I will pass to the next presenter.
I will move further with the fourth power. According to Section 5, the freedom of association and the right is protected in the Industrial Relations Act. The Act states that no employer shall prevent a worker from joining a union by putting a condition in his contract of employment. No employer shall refuse to employ a worker on the grounds he is a trade union member or officer, and no employer shall discriminate against a worker such in terms of promotion on the grounds he is a trade union member or officer. However, no worker shall be threatened with dismissal or dismissed if he purposes to join a trade union or if he participates in union activities. Workers also have the rights not to join a trade union. According to Section 7 in Industrial Relations Act, workers may not be forced to join a union. In advanced countries, trade unions as autonomous bodies frame their own rules, but in Malaysia, the Trade Union Act 1959 stipulates that not only the trade unions should formulate rules on all matters included in the first schedule of the Act, but also the rules so formed must not contravene the specific statutory provisions governing these matters in the Act itself. This positive provision to promote bilateralism in industrial relations and join the registered union or not join it. In fact, it also to control over worker organisation which comprehensive in that extends to the intention of unions besides regulating union management relations. However, according to Section 38, subsection 1 of Trade Union Act 1959, the DGTU shall refuse to register a trade union if he is satisfied that the object, rules and constitution of the trade union conflict with any of the provision of the Act of any regulation.
Hi, my name is Nur Izzati Shazwani and I will continue the fifth power of Director General of Trade Union. The fifth power of Director General of Trade Union is the registration. According to Section 15 of the Trade Union Act 1959, the Director General of Trade Union has power to the registration a union under certain circumstances, but it is not mandatory for him to do so. A certificate of registration of a trade union may be cancelled or withdrawn by the Director General at the request of the trade union upon its dissolution to verify in such manner as the Director General may require or if he is satisfied that the certificate of registration was obtained or issued by fraud or mistake. Any one of the objectives or rules of the trade union is unlawful or illegal. Next, the constitution of the trade union or its executive is unlawful. The trade union has been disobeyed any provision of this act or of any regulation made under the funds of the trade union has been expended in unlawful manner or unlawful objective or on an objective not authorized by the rules, the union, or the union has ceased to exist. Next, the Director General of Trade Union may withdraw or deregistration the registration if the union has ceased to exist, if he is certified that the registration was issued by mistake or gained via fraud, or if any of the union's objectives or rules are illegal. Furthermore, if he is fined because the union executive constitution is unlawful, or the union has been or is being or is likely to be used for any unlawful purpose or for any purpose opposed to its objective or rules, he has the authority to deregistration union's registration. In addition, if the union breach any of the provision of the Trade Union Act or its regulation, or if a union breach any of its rule, he has the authority to deregistration the union. The Director General has the authority to deregistration a union if the union allow any regulation that breach any provision of the Trade Union Act to continue, or if the union's funds were unlawfully used. If two or more unions are registered to represent the same group of workers in a trade occupation, industry, or individual place of employment, the Director General of Trade Union has the authority to deregister the union that covers a small number of workers, or to order the union to remove the smaller number of workers from its membership register, the affected workers. In conclusion, the right to industrial act is recognized but is severely restricted. While workmen are not denied their right to strike, the right is limited to achieve a balance between unrestricted freedom to strike and the need for industrial peace in the interest of economic development. Moreover, a trade union must comply with all the law, especially the provision of the Trade Union Act 1959. That's all from us. Thank you so much for the time and attention.